sensual interplay and spiritual longing. Craving, ecstasy and enlightenment, the age-old conflict between religion and sexuality. Eros, divine gift or diabolical power. Every religion has its taboos. What happens when one violates taboos? We hear the personal experiences of a Christian gay couple, a Muslim woman, a Buddhist womaniser, and a young Hindu couple. Live and let live, living your life in the way you feel is right. That's Cologne. Stefan and Georg, 30 and 32 years old. For 10 years, these two gay men have been lovers, and they're practicing Christians.
Wenn man in einer Hochzeitsmesse ist, wird ja jedes Mal eben gesagt, was Gott zusammengeführt hat, soll der Mensch nicht trennen. Also ich wüsste jetzt nicht, wer uns zusammengeführt hat, wenn nicht Gott. Und deshalb wüsste ich halt auch nicht, warum irgendjemand uns trennen sollte.
Das sehe ich genauso. Also ich habe auch, das war auch ein Prozess, mir überlegt, wem muss ich eigentlich verpflichtet sein, ja? Der Kirche, einer Institution oder Gott? Und da bin ich zum Schluss gekommen, ich bin Gott verpflichtet und sonst niemand anderen. Und ich glaube nicht, dass er das jetzt schlecht findet, dass wir zwei zusammenleben, sondern dass es von ihm auch so gewollt ist.
Being gay and Catholic, for them, this is no contradiction. Even if the bishops and the official church exclude them, disapprove of their lifestyle and consider marriage between a man and a woman to be the only true partnership. Georg and Stefan want to remain in the church and be quite open about their love for each other.
Zunächst mal haben wir eine extreme Tabuisierung von Homosexualität innerhalb der katholischen Tradition. Das heißt, früher galt Homosexualität sogar als unaussprechliche Sünde, als Sünde, für die man nicht mal ein Wort gefunden hat. So schrecklich war diese Sünde. Es ist dann auch zu Äußerungen gekommen, wie zum Beispiel die heilige Katharina von Siena, der ist Christus erschienen, angeblich, und hat in einer Vision ihr gesagt, die Dämonen, die finden alle Sünden toll. Außer die Homosexualität, die ist so eklig, diese Sünde, dass sich sogar die Dämonen ekeln vor dieser Sünde.
Ich war der Einzige, glaube ich, von meinen Geschwistern. Ich wurde nämlich in einem regulären Sonntagsgottesdienst getauft. Also nicht in so einem extra Gottesdienst, sondern halt, da war irgendwie auch der ganze Kindergarten da. Es war so eine Familienmesse.
Die Sternsinger.
Da bin ich aber ganz, ganz klein noch, ne?
Ja, schön.
Mit so einem schiefen Stern. Das war auch so in irgendeinem 70er-Jahre
Ja, man sieht's.
Ja. Hier, das war meine Kinderkommunion mit der Orchidee. War ich sehr glücklich. Echt, das war mit eines meiner Lieblingsgeschenke.
Ja?
Ja, habe ich mich sehr darüber gefreut.
Georg comes from the neighbouring town of Neuss from a Catholic family. As a boy, he served at Mass and attended church services. Stefan is godfather to Georg's sister's children. Their faith is as much a part of their life as their sexuality. They have sex together with no sense of guilt.
Ich bin ja nicht nur schwul und ich bin auch nicht nur katholisch, sondern eben beides, so wie jeden Menschen ja auch viele Eigenschaften ausmachen. Deswegen sind das für mich auch beide Eigenschaften, von denen ich keine ablegen kann.
They're isolated in their own church. Amongst their gay friends in Cologne, they're also an exception. Most of their gay friends have long since turned their backs on the church, not wanting to live a life of pretense or according to the moral principles of the church. They live in changing or open relationships. Georg and Stefan are faithful to each other according to the teachings of the church on the subject of partnership.
Bei den psychologischen Mechanismen glaube ich, dass in der katholischen Kirche eine ganz große Rolle spielt, dass sie auf der einen Seite durch den Zölibat, aber auch durch andere Bräuche und Gewohnheiten der Priesterberuf unglaublich anziehend ist für homosexuelle Männer. In bestimmten Zeiten sogar die einzige Möglichkeit war, beruflich eine Karriere zu machen. Auf der anderen Seite eine extreme Tabuisierung bzw. Dämonisierung der Homosexualität steht, die eine Konstellation ergibt, die perfekt gemacht ist für Machtausübung der Oberen.
Meine Auffassung ist, dass Gott mich und den Stefan eben so geschaffen hat, wie wir sind. Wir beide übernehmen Verantwortung füreinander, wie jedes andere Liebespaar, Ehepaar auch. Wir respektieren einander, vielleicht sogar mehr als manch anderer, weil ich manchmal das Gefühl habe, eben, dass wir gerade als Schwule viel mehr über unsere eigenen Einstellungen nachdenken müssen und wie wir uns selber positionieren innerhalb der Gesellschaft oder auch gegenüber anderen Schwulen beispielsweise, dass man bestimmte Prinzipien hat.
Georg and Stefan know what the church demands of them, to refrain from their sinful sexual practices, to control themselves and to keep their feelings of attraction to themselves. According to the church, even though they did not choose to be gay, giving in to their desire would be the wrong path to take.
Wenn man alte Lehrbücher der Moraltheologie anschaut, zum Beispiel Alfons von Liguori, der bekannteste Moraltheologe der katholischen Kirche, der behandelt auch die Sodomia in seinem Lehrbuch für Moraltheologie. Und da geht er die unterschiedliche Sündhaftigkeit der Homosexualität, der Sodomia durch, wie man das früher genannt hat. Und die schlimmste Form der Homosexualität ist der passive Analverkehr, weil der Mann sich da praktisch in seiner Vorstellung von Alfons von Liguori wie eine Frau verhält. Er gibt also die männliche Ehre auf und nimmt eine Rolle der Frau an, die seiner nicht würdig ist. Also hinter der Ablehnung der Homosexualität steht auch zutiefst eine Frauenfeindlichkeit, eine Ablehnung oder Minderbewertung der Frau, die die katholische Kirche natürlich nicht erfunden hat, sondern aus der Kultur ihrer Zeit auch übernommen hat und da einfach mit den Wölfen geheult hat.
Wenn ich alle Beziehungen zwischen Menschen gleich stelle, in dem Sinn, dass ich sage, es ist doch kein Unterschied. Aber warum denn? Lassen Sie doch die Leute. Lassen Sie doch die Leute. Ob hetero, ob homo oder wie auch immer, dann führt dies zu einer Verwirrung, die es dem Menschen schwer macht, seine wirkliche Orientierung zu finden.
The church refuses to give its blessing to homosexual partnerships, even though homosexual marriage is increasing and becoming more and more accepted in German society, especially in the big cities.
Also für mich ist es teilweise befremdlich, weil ich finde, die Führung der Kirche hat es noch nicht erkannt, dass die Gesellschaft sich weiterentwickelt und dass die Kirche sich natürlich auch anpassen sollte oder auf die Menschen zugehen sollte.
Wenn ich da offen, also eigentlich angefeindet werde, passiert ja schon ab und zu, verletzt mich das schon. Ich muss auch ganz ehrlich sagen, ich habe auch mehr als einmal darüber nachgedacht, dann doch auszutreten, eben um ein Zeichen zu setzen. Aber mir ist dann klar geworden, ich kann eigentlich vielleicht sogar mehr ein Zeichen setzen, indem ich drin bleibe und hoffe und auch bete dafür, dass es eben eine Veränderung gibt.
Also das Erschütternde war über viele Jahre, dass die katholische Kirche auf völkerrechtlichen Konferenzen häufig, wenn es um Frauenrechte ging, um ausgelebte Sexualität generell, das heißt auch, was darf eine Frau oder was darf eine Frau nicht, aber auch bei Homorechten, ganz häufig mit Saudi-Arabien, mit dem Iran, also mit Ländern zusammengearbeitet hat, wo die islamische Gesetzgebung, die Scharia, eine ganz große Rolle spielt und sich diesen angeschlossen hat.
A market in Konya, in the center of Anatolia, perhaps the most Islamic city in Turkey. Bahriya was born here. When she was 17, she wanted to choose her future husband herself. For her father, this was unthinkable. The Quran teaches the man is superior to the woman. Bahriya's assertive behavior in following her heart was contravening the teachings of the Quran.
O sırada ben birini sevdim. Dedim ki hani kaçmak benim için daha kurtuluş olur dedim. Hani evlenmek istemiyordum. Ben 13 yaşında kaçtım evden. Biriyle evlilik yaptım. 13 yaşındayken. Ben orada kendi kendime düşük yaptım. Hiç kimse yoktu. Hiç kimse yanımda yoktu. Çünkü çıkacak yeri arıyordum. Çünkü mücadele ediyordum. Çünkü hiç kimsem yok. Annem babam sahip çıkmıyordu. Ailem sahip çıkmıyordu. Sadece Allah'tan başka kimse yoktu. Allah'ım da bana yardım etti yani.
Die Zwangsheiratung findet in der Regel deshalb statt, weil Eltern oder andere feststellen, dass ihre Tochter ins geschlechtsfähige Alter kommt und außerehelichen Sex haben könnte. Um das zu unterbinden, werden die Töchter verheiratet.
After her family had cast her out, Bahria only had two things left in her life: the man she was in love with and her deep religious faith. She did not feel that she'd done anything wrong. Had not the mystic Rumi preached in the 13th century that one should follow one's heart? Even today, she still often prays at his grave. She and many devout women from Anatolia.
Sonra ben Konya'ya geldim. Kendisi astsubaydı. Onunla 2 yıl ben evli kaldım. Orada bir düzenli hayatım oldu bir süre ama yani çok güzeldi. Hani mutluydum.
But there were arguments because she did not wish to be subservient to her husband. In the end, he threw her out. The fact that she chose him over her own family counted for nothing. She became homeless. The 2 children were taken into care.
Wenn jetzt die Liebesheirat dann dazu führt, dass man die Eltern hinter sich lässt, ja, dass die Familie einen dann nicht mehr kennt, ist das natürlich für die Frauen bitter. Umso wichtiger ist es, dass solche Frauen dann eben eine Unterstützung bekommen von einem System, wo sie anfängt und lernt, ein freies, selbstbestimmtes Leben zu führen, wo sie auch individualistisches Denken lernt, wo sie ein Ich-Bewusstsein entwickelt. Sie hat diesen Mann geheiratet aus Liebe, hat sich von der Familie abgewendet und jetzt steht sie wahrscheinlich zum ersten Mal alleine da. Sie war vorher immer im Familienverband. Und das ist ein Problem von vielen Frauen, die aus diesen Zusammenhängen kommen, dass sie nie gelernt haben, allein und selbstbestimmt für sich zu denken und zu leben.
Şevketleri polislere Allah razı olsun. Bir gün akşam ben fuarın orada dolaşırken bir akşam çünkü kalacak yerim olmadığı için. Polislere de kalacak yeriniz var mı dedi. Ben dedim ki ne yok. Hani dolaştığımı da biliyorlardı orada sürekli. Allah razı olsun onlar götürdü. Yani orada kalmaya başladım. Yani ben önceden böyle yer olduğunu bilseydim zaten gelirdim. Sokaklarda hiç yaşamazdım ki öncesine.
Shefkat means mercy. Ryan also chose her own husband. The young teacher went into hiding at Shefkat. Her father found her and shot her dead in front of the door. All of these women are dead because they disobeyed the wishes of their fathers, brothers or husbands. The police could not protect them.
Kur'an-ı Kerim karıncayı dahi incitme diyor. Karıncayı dahi incitme diyen Kur'an'ın bağlıları bugün birbirlerine Allahu Ekber diyerek boğazlıyor. Bu mu Müslümanlık Allah aşkına?
Kız aldatılmasın, hakları korunsun diye, dengine varsın diye velisinin desteği istenmiştir dinimizde. Bu desteği dış dünyadaki insanlar zorlama olarak algılıyorlar. Bu yanlış bir algılamadır. Bizdeki velinin şeyi yol göstermedir ve aldanmasını engellemektir.
Bahria attends special training sessions. She had to learn that the police cannot protect her, or they don't come until it's too late. So she wants to build up her self-confidence. The weapon removes this feeling of helplessness.
Kadınların pek çoğu Anadolu kadını kendisini erkekten daha aşağı görüyor. Saygınlık anlamında bunu anlıyorsa bunu anlarım ama kendini aşağılama noktasına götürüyorsa bu ciddi anlamda problemleri de beraberinde getiriyor.
Hani ben önce gitmek istemedim açıkçası. Hani güvenmiyordum çünkü herkesten çok darbe yedim. Dedim ki artık dedim, hiçbir kimseye... Maşallah.
A normal day on the streets of Bangkok. Juk does not need any special courage to get through the day. He is a stuntman for action films, a motorbike rider, 45 years old and a Buddhist. Juk is happy if the traffic flows and he can make headway. At least 3 times a week he trains in a gym. That fits with his idea of masculinity.
พวกผู้ชายนี่ถ้าออกกำลังกายแล้วแข็งแรงเกี่ยวกับเรื่องทางบ้านนี่ก็ดีเกี่ยวกับแรงหน่อยนะเกี่ยวกับเรื่องเซ็กเรื่องอะไรก็ดีถ้าเราได้ออกกำลังกายจะดีขึ้นสำหรับคนออกกำลังกายนะ
Of course, Juk has to be physically fit for his film work, but the main reason he trains is to make himself attractive to women.
ผู้หญิงมันคือเขาละเอียดอ่อนกว่าเราอ่ะผู้ชายนี่แข็งกระด้างผู้หญิงเขาแต่งตัวอะไรมาเขาหน้าตาสวยผิวดีหุ่นดีแบบเพอร์เฟกต์มันดูสวยไปหมดอ่ะมันดูอ่อนหวานผู้หญิงชอบคิดว่าผมมันไม่พอมั้งอยากได้อีก
That doesn't stop him having a parallel family life. Juk is married. He has a wife and 2 school-age daughters. In the morning, the whole family sits for a few minutes in front of their house before Juk takes his daughters to school.
ทั้งลูกทั้งภรรยารักอยู่ครับก็เขาเป็นคนดีมากให้อภัยผมไม่รู้กี่ครั้งผมนี่ผิดต่อเขาเยอะจริงๆผิดต่อเขาเยอะมากเขาก็เวลาผมทำผิดอะไรเนี่ยเขาก็ให้อภัยผมเสมอ
He wouldn't dream of leaving his family, not least because of his daughters. He has brought them up together with his wife, and he would miss them too much. Juk tries his best to be a good father and a good Buddhist. He knows that each person is responsible for his own karma. According to the teachings of the Buddha, no action is without consequence.
The concept of karma is very crucial in Buddhism, which means that whatever we have done will bear fruits in the future, good or bad, right? Our mind is influenced by mental defilements. Then those mental defilements project us to be born again and again in the life hereafter, ceaselessly.
Juk is not interested in all the details. He has his own, less rigid interpretation.
ศาสนาพุทธเนี่ยก็อย่างมูสาที่เขาว่าทำดีได้ดีพูดโกหกมันก็ไม่ดีผิดลูกผิดเมียนี่ถือว่าผิดไปสมมติว่าผู้หญิงเขามีผัวอยู่แล้วไปเล่นกับเขาเนี่ยถือว่าผิดมากในตัวผมนี่ถือมากผมศีลข้อนี้ผมถือ
The Buddha explained that every householder have to respect their wife, right? Look after wife. Do not have sexual intercourse beyond marriage. If somebody is looking for extra sexual intercourse beyond marriage, they are ruining their own life. They are moving towards the downfall in their life, right? It is very explicit teachings of the Buddha.
Juk is willing to risk that. In the evening, he goes out with his current girlfriend. She is not married. And totally unsuspecting. She doesn't know that Juk is married. He deliberately keeps her in the dark, just as his wife is in the dark about his affairs.
การโกหกของผู้ชายมันเป็นสิ่งที่เริ่มต้นของความไม่จริงใจที่จะเข้ามาหาเราแล้วก็คนเจ้าชู้ค่ะขอตรงนี้ก็คือ2 อย่างก็พอแค่มีความจริงใจกับไม่เจ้าชู้ค่ะ
Nevertheless, Juk just can't help himself. He's driven. He simply has to have other women.
พอผมทำผิดไปแล้วปุ๊บมันเหมือนน้ำลายถงมันเอาคืนไม่ได้เราต้องไปทำบุญยังไงก็ไม่หายยังไงก็ผิดอยู่ดีแต่ก็ช่วยทางจิตใจได้เยอะถ้าเข้าวัดทำบุญตักบาตรทำสังฆทาน
The Hindus in India believe in karma and rebirth, and in the caste system, which brings order. Every Hindu is born into one of the 4 main castes, with its numerous subcastes, and no one can escape their hierarchy. Even though civil law has long permitted it, marriage between members of different castes is taboo amongst traditional Hindus. Those who contravene this rule are themselves cast out or persecuted, even today. 19-year-old Hina and 21-year-old student Hashish, for example. They ran away from home and hid here in temporary accommodation in a poor quarter of New Delhi.
We are just neighbors, and 5 years before we started friendship, and after that her parents, they didn't like. First time they beaten us, they beaten me. They have 2-3 times with some politicians with there, and that time she was very little. She was like 16 or 15-year-old.
और फिर पता चलने के बाद में 3 साल तक कैद रखा था, पढ़ाई छुड़वा दी थी, फ्रेंड से मिलना सब बंद कर दिया था और घर में ही रखते थे पूरे टाइम, बाहर कहीं नहीं आने जाने देते.
In spite of this, the two managed to maintain contact. They sent secret messages on slips of paper that the neighbouring children carried back and forth, until Hina was 18 years old and had come of age. Then they decided to marry.
Her parents, they didn't want us to marry each other because of my caste problem. My caste is the lowest caste among the low caste in India.
Hashish belongs to the Shudras caste, that of the workers and day labourers. Hina belongs to the Multani, a higher caste. They're not allowed to fraternise. The Love Commandos organisation in New Delhi helps in such cases. Here they're safe from their families. The Love Commandos were founded by Sanjay Sachdeva, a former journalist.
We have come to know that the youth in India was facing a problem about his or her relationship. And especially the females had to face much more than the males. They are being illegally detained, beaten by the families, tortured, their character being assassinated, they are called names, and all that wrongs are happening which our law does not permit.
The Love Commandos ensure that couples can marry quite legally. They're often the last hope for young lovers, for Hina and Hashish too. Thanks to the Love Commandos, they were able to get married. The wedding ceremony took place just a few hours ago. If Hina had not run away, her parents would probably have forced her into an arranged marriage with a man from her own caste.
पुलिस स्टेशन में किया, वहाँ से एक वुमेन आई थी घर पे बात करने, फिर उन्होंने सब ठीक करवाया था, मगर फिर एक हफ्ते बाद कुछ हुआ, मतलब मैं जा रही थी फ्रेंड से मिलने, तो ट्राई कर रही थी कि ये लोग ने स्टेटमेंट लिख के दिया था कि आज के बाद इसको रोकेंगे टोकेंगे नहीं, कैद नहीं रखेंगे, पढ़ाई कराएंगे, सब कुछ करेंगे, पर फिर इन्होंने मुझे रोका, भाई को बुला लिया काम से. वहाँ भी मैंने दोबारा कॉल करी तो उन्होंने भी कह दिया कि नहीं, जैसा तुम्हारे मम्मी पापा कह रहे हैं वैसे करो.
Hina is still on the list of missing persons, although she is of age and has not broken any law. In Indian society, religious and social order systems are interlocked. This way of thinking is still anchored in tradition.
Caste, religion, many questions are raised in this society. But for any country, law of the land is foremost thing. Our law does not permit any discrimination in the name of caste or religion. The problem lies in the implementing machinery. The standing direction of the Honorable Supreme Court are sufficient enough, but the political leadership of right-wing parties, left-wing parties, centralized parties, everyone is not having a courage and conviction to put a few hundred district magistrates, collectors, SSPs and other officers behind the bars and try them. The day a few hundred of such public servants are put behind the bars, the mindset would start changing.
There is little room for hope. Until now, Hindu society has resisted the processes of modernization. The caste is of utmost importance. The individual counts for little.
This country can never grow because of the caste system only. I think that this is the ugliest part of this country, but I hate this system at all. Because of this system, many people, they don't like Hindu religion itself, because the main roots of this religion comes from this caste system.
Despite all the caste differences, the two of them are now man and wife. They want to wait until they're alone to sleep together for the first time.
Yeah, we can share beds and everything, but after this shelter, when we will go to our home, when everything will be okay, somewhere else in Delhi, but not in the same street.
For Hildegard, Georg's mother, her children mean everything to her. For a long time, Georg didn't know how his Catholic mother would deal with the fact that he was gay.
Als ich mal zum Wochenende in Neuss zu Besuch war, habe ich immer gedacht, wann sage ich es ihnen?
He didn't come out until he found his great love.
Und dann habe ich das eben nach dem Mittagessen gemacht, obwohl ich auch nicht das Gefühl hatte, das wäre der richtige Moment. Aber da war mir auch klar, den richtigen Moment wird es nicht geben.
Georg's feelings for Stefan were serious.
Als diese Offenbarung kam, als er hier am Küchentisch saß und war da, ne? Als er dann sagte, ja, ich muss das jetzt mal sagen, ich habe ja in Marburg einen Freund, einen Lebensgefährten. Und also da ist irgendwie so bei mir so was runtergerutscht. Da habe ich so gesagt, Moment mal. Wobei im Nachhinein mich Freunde gefragt haben, hör mal, ist der Gedanke nicht gekommen? Überhaupt nicht gekommen?
Aber ich erinnere mich daran, dass meine Mutter sofort kam und mich, also ich saß und sie hat dann meinen Kopf umarmt und mich dann einfach in den Arm genommen.
Und da sagt mein Mann, ich will dir was sagen. Wenn das sein Lebensweg ist und wenn der da glücklich wird, und das ist ja das Einzige, was wir im Leben zu schaffen haben, dass wir glücklich werden hier auf dieser Welt, da können wir doch uns gar nicht aufregen. Und wie mein Mann das dann so nach so einer Pause sagte, dann bin ich eigentlich in mich gegangen und habe gedacht, Mensch, der hat ja wirklich recht. Und da können wir uns nicht gegen wehren, da kann der Staat sich nicht gegen wehren. Und wenn diese Kinder von Gott geschickt sind, und da kann auch der liebe Gott eigentlich nichts gegen haben. Also, oder?
Hildegard's husband died a year ago. Georg and Stefan appeared on the death announcement as a couple. Hildegard does not wish to deny that fact. Friendship, love, denying what one is. It reminds Christian gays of Peter, who denied his beloved Jesus 3 times before the cock crowed.
Ja, es ist grundsätzlich schwierig. Wir haben auch schon öfter darüber gesprochen. Man ertappt sich dann auch ein bisschen dabei, sich zu verleugnen. Also da denke ich dann immer an den dritten Hahnenschrei. ich finde, also es war auch wichtig für uns, darüber zu sprechen und sich selber zu positionieren. Ich denke, es passieren viele Dinge so unbewusst. Und wenn man dann mal drüber spricht, kann man da auch eigentlich so einen gemeinsamen Weg finden und sich gegenseitig bestärken. Ich finde es mittlerweile auch wichtig, dazu zu stehen, weil es ein wichtiger Teil meines Lebens ist. Und ich denke, jemand, der das nicht weiß, dass ich auch religiös bin und dass es mir wichtig ist, wird mich wahrscheinlich auch so in der Tiefe nicht verstehen können.
For Hildegard, Stefan is her son's partner, a natural part of the family.
Sexualität ist in der katholischen Kirche da, um eine, ich zitiere jetzt Papst Benedikt XVI. In seinem Buch Licht der Welt, um eine Reproduktion der Art zu erzeugen. Das heißt, Sexualität hat als Hauptziel Nachkommenschaft. Ein rein biologistischer Begriff, der hier angesetzt wird von Sexualität. Und den können nun mal homosexuelle Männer oder homosexuelle Frauen nicht erfüllen. Aus diesem unmoralischen Zugang zur Sexualität, dieser unmoralischen Wesensbestimmung von Sexualität, erwachsen dann neue Unmoralismen. Man denke zum Beispiel nur an die AIDS-Problematik in Afrika. Das heißt, auch dort werden Kondome verboten, weil man sagt, ja, die verhindern ja die Vermehrung. Und dann wird ein unmoralischer Zustand, nämlich dass zum Beispiel ein HIV-positiver Mann seine HIV-negative Frau ansteckt, weil er ja keine Kondome verwenden darf, in Kauf genommen, weil man ja sagt, wir müssen unsere angeblich höhere Moral, Sexualität nur um der Vermehrung willen aufrechterhalten und deswegen Kondome und andere Verhütungsmittel verbieten.
Georg and Stefan would like to marry. But the Catholic Church only has one answer to this.
Nein, das heiraten zwei Männer und das kann es nicht geben, weil das unserem Begriff der Ehe als Gemeinschaft eines Mannes mit einer Frau nicht entspricht. Das ist keine Ehe. Ehe ist die Beziehung zwischen Mann und Frau. Das ist Ehe.
The two men wish to marry in their spiritual home, in the church, with the priests and the church's blessing.
Lieben und ehren in guten und in schlechten Zeiten, das tun wir schon 10 Jahre.
Eben, das sehe ich genauso und deshalb kann ich auch nicht nachvollziehen, weshalb man da Unterschiede hat und Abstriche hinnehmen sollte. Ich finde, uns steht genauso eine Zeremonie zu, eine Trauung wie jedem anderen Paar auch. Weil wir genauso eine Beziehung leben wie alle anderen.
Ja, also es ist von der Sache her nichts anderes.
Nee, deshalb finde ich, sollte uns das schon möglich sein.
Women like Bahria in Konya do not fit into the conservative concept of the religious leaders. Her life was in danger. She sought sanctuary in the women's refuge in Konya that she now runs. Today she has a steady job and her 2 children live with her again. They had to give up the large women's refuge in the center of town because the fathers, brothers and husbands used to kill the women on the street. The new building stands anonymous in a suburb. No one is allowed to know who's sheltering here.
Komşudur. İyi niyetlidir. Konuştuk, sohbet ettik. Sonradan bizim orasını öğrendikten sonra kimse istemedi bizi. Hep dışladılar. Sığınma evi olduğunu bilince hani istemiyorlar. İşte kapıdan çıkarken hep falan hani laf çakıştırmalar. İşte çocuklarım benim ses yapsa, çocuklarım ses yapması bile onlara istemiyor.
Bahria is showing a newcomer around the building. She had to run away because her husband had threatened to stab her. Bahria received help and now she's helping others.
Ya orada gelen hani benim gibi kardeşlerim var. Kimisi annesinden gören şiddet, babasından gören şiddet, abisinden tecavüze uğrayan, babasından tecavüze uğrayan. Yani aklına insan ne işkence varsa hepsi yani gelen insanlar çok. Hani ben onların asla bir dışlama şeyim yoktur. Çünkü neden? Onlar derdini dinlediğim zaman kendi derdimi unutuyorum zaten.
The women's refuge, Chef Cat, is funded solely by donations. It is the only organization in Turkey that helps when women have to run away from their husbands, fathers, and brothers.
Peygamberimizin veda hutbesinde tavsiye ettiği şeylerden bir tanesi de şudur. Kadınlar hakkında Allah'tan korkunuz. Onları Allah'ın emaneti olarak aldınız.
Wir reden hier über eine Religion, die von einer Stammeskultur ausgeht. Das heißt, der Stamm, das Wir, die Gemeinschaft zählt, der Einzelne zählt nichts. Ja, oder sehr wenig. Er ist nur ein Teil von dem Ganzen. Und die Frau hat in dieser Gruppe, in diesem System auch ihren Platz. Und zwar immer unter dem der Männer. Und hat den zu erfüllen. Und wenn sie eine gute Frau ist, eine gute Mutter, eine gute Schwester, eine gute Ehefrau, dann kommt sie ins Paradies. Sie hat also als Frau ihre Rolle gut zu erfüllen.
Bahriya shows the children her village. She can only visit the dead. For her family, she is dead. The children are frightened, but for Bahriya, cemeteries were places of refuge when her husband threw her out of the flat.
Konya'nın nasıl bir yer olduğunu bilmediğim için, hani ben köyünde yetiştiğim için merkezi olaraktan biz bilmiyoruz. Ben kalacak yerim olmadığı için mezarlıklarda yatıp kalkıyordum, otogarlarda, istasyonlarda. Çünkü mezarlık benim için daha güvenliydi. Çünkü insanlar dışarıdakilere kaldığım zaman tecavüz ediyorlardı. Çünkü mezarlıkta hiç kimse bana dokunamıyordu. Ölülerle yatmak benim için daha iyiydi.
Bahriya is self-assured, especially in her village. She shows her children off proudly. A clear break with the village community.
Hayatta tek 2 tane çocuğum var, başka da hiç kimsem yok. 5 tane çocukların tek isteğim ne biliyor musun abi? Çocuklar, ben huzurlu görmedim, hiç kendim yaşamadım ya. Çocuklarım tek yaşasın diye çok şey mücadele edeceğim. Allah'ıma da her gün dua ediyorum. Allah'ım diyorum ki ben çok şey yaşadım, benim evlatlarım yaşamasın.
Juk in Bangkok is glad when the weekend begins. Then he takes a break from his family. His first stop is the temple. There he wants to receive a blessing from the monks and donate some money. It's an ever-recurring ritual. He knows that his sins will not be reduced by blessings and donations, but it relieves his burden somewhat.
สำหรับคนไทยถ้าทำบุญเสร็จแล้วก็จะอุทิศให้เจ้ากรรมนายเวรก็จะรู้สึกดีๆคนไทยนี่ทำบุญคิดว่ามาทำบุญลบล้างผมที่ทำมาแต่มันลบล้างไม่ได้เพราะผิดก็คือผิดถูกก็คือถูกช่วยได้นิดหน่อยครับ
The next stop on his program, a weekend trip from Bangkok to Pattaya, right at the beach on the Indian Ocean. Also a kind of ritual. Directly behind the beach is the notorious Pattaya Entertainment Mile.
ผมเป็นคนสนุกครับทำอะไรก็ได้ให้สบายใจแฮปปี้สนุกอยากให้เขารู้เป็นเด็ดขาดถ้าเขารู้ผมก็ไม่แน่ใจว่าอะไรมันจะเกิดขึ้นแล้วที่รู้ปุ๊บก็ให้อภัยมาทุกรอบแต่ถ้ามีอีกครั้งหนึ่งผมเชื่อแน่ว่ามันจะไม่มีการอภัยหรือว่ายอมเพราะว่าตัวผมนี่ทำผิดเยอะก็ผมก็เลย
Juk finds everything his heart desires in his favorite pub in Pattaya. Games, fun, alcohol flowing like water. And of course, girls.
อย่างน้อยคืนหนึ่งต้องมี2อย่างน้อยๆต้องมี2แล้วก็หลับสบายผมเป็นคนคิดว่าเรื่องเซ็กนี่มันเหมาะสำหรับผู้ชายถ้าผู้ชายคนไหนไม่มีเซ็กนะอยู่กันไปก็ส่วนมากผู้หญิงมันไม่อบอุ่นอ่ะบางคนผู้หญิงเขาก็ชอบบางคนก็ไม่ชอบบางคนไม่ชอบเลย
Actually, sexual drive, lust, cravings are natural. Nobody denied that. But the Buddha explained that it is happiness, yes. It is pleasure, yes. But those pleasure, those happiness exist temporarily only. There are lots of sufferings. If you commit adultery, you have many wives, many girlfriends at the same time. The problem is your family may not be, lasting long. You are not going to have a stable relationship. So you have to decide yourself what would you like your family to be in the future. That is something that the Buddha foresee in the future. What happens if you tell lies on a regular basis?
Juk knows all this. He's well aware that he's living a permanent lie. But every time he's in Pattaya, other influences blur his mind. How is one supposed to think about the consequences in this atmosphere? The red lights, the music, the alcohol, the girls that are constantly available, sheer intoxication. And everything is possible. Everything is allowed.
คนอื่นอาจจะถ้าเป็นยุคโบราณอาจจะรังเกียจสำหรับผมไม่ถือธรรมดาถ้าคนเราเข้าใจกัน
It is said that the girls brought bad karma upon themselves in an earlier life.
In my view, they might have done something wrong in the past which project them to be born as prostitutes, in this world. Of course, as a Buddhist, I feel, sympathetic with them. I mean, the Buddha recommends us to spread our loving kindness and compassion towards every being on earth, including prostitutes as well.
One thing certain, Pattaya is not a good place to think about the next life.
ถือว่าเราเกิดมานี่เราก็ไม่รู้ว่าอะไรมันจะเกิดขึ้นกับตัวเราไม่แน่เราอาจจะเกิดมาเพราะเราทำไม่ดีไม่เยอะอาจจะเกิดมาขาขาดหูหนวกตาบอดเกิดมาไม่ครบ32อย่างเงี้ยก็ยังไม่คาดคิดได้ว่ามันจะเป็นยังไง
Mumbai, India's mega city. Here too, lovers who ignore the caste barriers are threatened with bad karma. Nevertheless, more and more young city dwellers are daring to take that step. For example, the married couple Mohit and Nimishi. They're visiting the southernmost part of the metropolis, Bandra Land's End, a hotspot of forbidden love. This is where young lovers meet. 2 hours by bus from the city centre, they feel safe here. It is unlikely that their parents or relatives will chance to pass by.
I mean, they want to spend time together, so it doesn't matter to them whether the entire world is looking at them, but as long as they spend time with each other, that's important. And they're happy. For me personally, I feel lucky that we've been able to get the time together the way we want to and not having to be at places where we don't get our privacy.
Mohit and Nimishi got to know each other in a telecommunications company. Nimishi belongs to the highest caste, the Brahmin. Her husband, Mohit, to a lower caste from North India.
I knew that my folks are not going to be okay with the idea of me falling in love with somebody who does not belong to the same caste. In fact, even the fact that falling in love is not something that is a part of our culture. For us, it's more about, it's an arranged marriage. So we don't even meet the person who you're getting married to.
In Nimishi's caste, marrying for love is one of the worst offences. The expression love marriage is like a swear word. Brahmins are highly religious. They are the priests among the Hindus. Nowadays, they still influence the way of life, even in a modern industrial metropolis like Mumbai.
Who you marry is still substantially determined by caste, because the social circles in which people move in terms of caste are similar. It would be unthinkable, I think, in an arranged marriage situation for the marriage to be arranged between an upper caste person and a non-upper caste person. That just does not happen.
The normal pattern would have been for Nimishi to marry into another Brahmin family. There was no question of that for her. She wanted to marry the man she was in love with.
I've seen a lot of arranged marriages not working. I've seen a lot of my friends go through the whole piece of arranged marriage where they don't know somebody and they're willing to spend the rest of their lives with them, you know. And I saw that not working for me because I did not want to spend the rest of my life with someone I did not know or someone I did not connect with.
For me, so when we started seeing each other, obviously there was the attraction. There was a physical attraction, the element there as well.
I mean, you cannot have a physical relationship with somebody you don't know. You cannot really have a physical relationship with somebody you do not connect with or you do not love.
After a long fight with her conscience, Nimishi decided to break the taboo. The couple got married against the will of Nimishi's parents. It was a courageous step. Both of them knew that they would pay a price. Basically, by choosing sexual freedom, they risked social ostracism.
My mom and my dad both disowned me for a while and I was left on my own. It was quite a stressful phase because nobody supported me with the decision except for my brother, who always stood by me, and he told me that, you know, whatever you want to do, just do it and everything's going to fall in place. He was the only one who supported me throughout the entire journey. In fact, I had a lot of my relatives who did not even attend the wedding because they felt offended that I got married to somebody outside my caste.
She found consolation with Hanuman, a god in the form of a monkey. In India, rejection by one's family means total isolation.
If you're ostracized from your family network, you're ostracized from attending other people's weddings, from birth ceremonies, death ceremonies, all these kinds of things. I think that the most significant fear that people have is the social fear. Because in India still you depend for lots of things on your networks, social networks, kin networks, family networks. So if you actually cast out from this, then it's a huge problem for you. It's a problem of survival.
For a time, it was indeed a battle for social survival. The battle only ended when Nimishi's mother fell ill with cancer and renewed contact with her daughter. At any rate, the couple have never regretted marrying. Mohit and Nimishi are at peace with themselves and their karma.
I don't think I was doing anything wrong by falling in love and by following my dreams and following what I wanted to do. So for me that was karma. That was the right karma. It didn't make a difference to me, honestly.
In all religions, laws can stand in the way of desire and sexual preferences. They give love, fertility, and sexuality a spiritual dimension, and those who believe a moral certainty. But when religions stick rigidly to the rules, then they become a threat to freedom and to love.